Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm Gonzo, he's Enzo, just to avoid any confusion, because we've actually got on the screen for you, so you can tell us apart. There's too many Zos, isn't there? Enzo,
There is.
quick question. What's your favourite game at the moment? Don't think about it for too long.
Favorite game at the moment, I'd have to say, probably. Would you would you believe I'm playing a lot of World Cup '94?
I could believe that, very much so. Yeah, of course. Yeah, very believable.
I'm going through this phase where it's not really a phase. In the whole journey that is this crazy hobby. I've had a good time with all the modern Sterns and JJPs, and then I had a few older games, and then I kind of got rid of the older games because I didn't really have time to maintain them, and I didn't know too much about it back then. But I've gravitated back to kind of like the '90s games because when you're not a good player like me, and I keep telling everyone this, it's over and over. Games that are really deep and hard, not for me. Like they're frustrating. And a bit of it is they all feel very similar as well. And 90 games, and I've actually shot a video about this, and I haven't finished. I haven't sent it to you yet.
Okay.
But I just feel that 90s games have far more character and soul, and I just enjoy them so much more. I really do. Dirty Harry, Johnny Mnemonic, Adam's Family, Twister, Whirlwind, World Cup '94, Twilight Zone. Like I'm loving Twilight Zone. Actually, I'm probably playing Twilight Zone just as much as I'm playing World Cup '94. So there you go.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm actually playing Theatre Magic as much as anything at the moment, and Filthy Barry like yourself. A lot of that's getting played. Labyrinth, to be fair, that's getting a lot of action. I think Jaws will be getting played a lot, but it's not here. It's not here at the moment. So, but yeah, it's hard not to look back at those old games, and as you say, they don't have the deep rule set. And I find myself playing, actually, funny enough, Theatre of Magic, I find myself playing it to complete it. So I fire it up and think, am I going to complete it today? Well, today, I have done it before, but it's maybe it happens twice a month. So I fire it up and think, will today be the day that I complete the game? Which you just don't do. I don't think you ever fired up Godzilla and thought, "Oh, I'm going to complete this game today."
But that's the frustrating part. Like I don't have a lot of time, right? Like between working and basically being full-time dad, picking up, dropping off kids, all that stuff. Like I've got 15 to maybe an hour, right? And to walk up to a game like Twilight Zone or Dolly Parton or Johnny Mnemonic, I can just pull the twanger, play some games, and I feel satisfied. Whereas if I did that like with Godzilla, as much as it's a great Elwyn game, like it aggravates me. And I don't end up like in 15, 20 minutes, I don't really achieve anything. Right. But that's not the game's fault. That's me because I'm not that great of a player. Right. But there's games where in 10, 15 minutes, you just don't even touch the surface. And then you end up rage quitting. Right. And then it pisses you off. Whereas, like, if I don't hit the surface on Twilight Zone or World Cup or Godzilla, or Sega Godzilla, the 1998 one, Whirlwind, I'm okay because I had such a good time playing it.
It's fun to get to that final, isn't it, on World Cup soccer? It's a fun journy, actually. Absolutely, and achievable. Absolutely achievable to get to the final. Look, I'm sure many people would agree. And if you're lucky enough to, have 2 or 3 games, you want to get yourself a nice balance on there, and it's good to have the depth. Even something like Labyrinth, is it hard? Yes, but I've got the lane extenders now, which made it a little bit easier. It might be hard, but the game is not super deep, so it can kick my ass. But it's not kicking my ass like Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, you can have a game that lasts. If you got it on 3 balls, you have a game that lasts 90 seconds. It's not that. You'll still play Labyrinth for 10 minutes. That's a perfectly achievable game time on it. So yeah, I'm with you. So we got a lot of games being rumored. We've got the announcement of the Winchester Mystery House, which I've not given my opinion on yet, and it's great we're linking up today because I wanted to have a chat about it. We've got obviously the Expo, which is on, and as we understand it, lots of talk about Spooky and I liked what Carrie said in his video. What video it was. I was fascinated with his whole stance on getting rid of King Kong, because I remember when he got that, and he got the LE, and I remember him doing the reveal video, and you know, he did a really great video on it. And very much when he did that video, he didn't feel that the value was there on the limited edition. So it was really interesting to listen to him and his reasoning for moving that on. And I make him absolutely right in everything. King Kong shoots beautifully, beautifully. But actually, if you are looking at a complete pinball machine, if you want to look at maybe, you know, 3 others, Evil Dead, Dune, and Harry Potter, in terms of a pinball machine, I'm talking light, sound, everything, it's not there.
Total package,
it shoots the best out of all of them. But I want to talk about this later, particularly because obviously you spoke to Jeff from Dirty Paul on this very channel. And obviously, you've got so much to do with the sound. And it's something I wanted to talk about as well, the way the sound is being elevated to such a high level. And the lighting was already there. So the bar had been lit on the lighting. The bar had been raised on the lighting. That's what I wanted to say. Bar had been raised on the lighting. The sound's there now. And I think it's now so good on a lot of these games that when it's not there, you're thinking, well, hold on, something's missing. I'm now used to you get spoiled. You get spoiled in this hobby.
Yep.
I think with these new games coming out, they're so luxurious, and there's so much in Evil Dead, and there's so much in Harry Potter, and there's so much in Dune. And I've no doubt that this Winchester Mystery House. In fact, you can tell just by watching the videos that the sound is going to be impeccable. There's this beautiful effect where the lights sort of travel up the playfield, and I think because you get spoiled, that becomes the new standard, and that becomes the new norm. And I just think now, particularly at the price point of new in-box games, just shooting well, it's not enough anymore. We want it because we're spoiled, and we're greedy, and we want everything. Yeah, sorry, went off on a tangent there. So you got the anyway, the thing that Carrie also said was, he said he hadn't signed an NDA about the Spooky thing. He said, but he was pleased about that because it enabled him to talk about it, which I liked. I guess that's cool. And so we've got the Spooky thing. We've also got possibility of Stern bringing out another game, which is going to need to be a hit. I think, really, bearing in mind for all the reasons that I've just said. Lots going on, mate. What's going on at your end? What have you got? I know you got some windows up on your computer.
Yeah, it's I mean, crazy with Barrels of Fun, kind of just 2 days, 3 days before Expo, just dropping the mic all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know, bringing a whole new game, which ironically, you know, I didn't know until Jeff had told me, but this is a game that they've had before Labyrinth that they were working on and working on how to bring it. You know, obviously, it's helped them work on Labyrinth and Dune to fine-tune this game. And the fact that in 2 days that game sold out. And I think that is an element of the theme being quite niche. Spooky themes are, you know, they're popular. There's no doubt that Spooky Pinball has put that on up on the pedestal. But I think a lot of it had to do with like you said, the total package, right? So you've got a very unique game. It was designed by one of the best players in the world. Carl is a whiz not only on pinball, you know, skills and shooting. He's a sniper, but he has a way of looking at something and dissecting the code and the modes. And you give him a whitewood and tell him to, you know, even David Van Ness said, you know, he spent more money on this than he did on Dune and Labyrinth. So, you know, he said he won't get this opportunity again. He's going to rein him in on the next one. But, you know, there's the sound. You know, I said to Jeff in my interview with Jeff, I said, I think as of right now, that bar of cinematic music experience is going to change forever in the pinball landscape, because you can't make a game like that and then not make the next one like that, you know, because like you said, we get sport and people are going to know it's missing, right? And Jeff's sampled the sounds. They're captivating. The call-outs are done by a guy who is like passionate about voice acting. There's a lot of passion behind those. The multi-ball, that was a captivating call out.
That wasn't it, was it? That was just you saying multi-ball, right?
That was just me saying it. Yeah. I'll turn that into a little thing on the keyboard later. So 2 days later, the game sold out. Even before anyone saw it at Expo, right? Nobody had played this game. It was purely based on it came out. Yes, there's only 525 games. Fully understand that. But it kind of proves that boutique, niche, low number is the sweet spot, and mate, the Expo, all 3 days, the queues were like 80 people deep all day till midnight wanting to play that Winchester house, right? Stern, Harry Potter was still popular. They had a bucket load of Harry Potters. And I'll show you, actually, while we're talking, we'll bring it up. So, I think it's one of the things where, Stern's booth wasn't as big this year. I've sped this up so you can see. And can you see that?
I can, yeah. Elvira,
Yep.
Aerosmith, I can see it, yeah.
Yep, it's going really fast for some reason. I don't know why. Speedy Gonzalez. So Stern's booth was a little bit smaller than normal. I'm really happy that the homebrew section, right, had such a fantastic presence this year. It was basically the main hero of the show, ultimately, it really shows that there's a community out there that are working together to build something pretty special. So between the popularity of the homebrew and Winchester House, mate, they've really stolen that show. And I'm really happy for Barrels of Fun because it's a passionate group of people that are building something that is not just a pinball machine but a full-on experience. So for us, it was just such a pleasure to see all this content kind of come for the last 3 days. Everyone's been doing tours. Everyone's been doing walkthroughs, showing play. Predator's been getting a lot of love. What do you call it? Big Trouble, Little China, which everyone just thought it was absolutely amazing and felt it was so refined and so complete. And it had Scott Denizio music, and it had proper pinball artists and everything doing the artwork. Like that was a game that you could literally build 500 of them and sell them tomorrow.
Sure.
And it would sell out. So, but yeah, look, I just think that whole Winchester, which I've got here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. And the thing with Carl D'Angelo, for those that don't know, he basically makes any game look easy to shoot. But where is it? There it is. Let's pull it up.
I think I've watched everything on it so far.
Yeah,
actually, no, this is the 12-minute video, isn't it, that he did?
Yeah, this is he just did 3 balls, showed the modes, showed how the multi-ball works, showed the integration of the screen at the back, which they've got their screen that's in Labyrinth and Dune. This one's mounted differently, so it acts more like a hologram, and obviously gives that ghostly impression. The light show's fantastic. The game's got a turntable in it, a bit like Popeye. It's got inline drop targets. It's got the game's loaded. It's got a tower that collapses. I think they've knocked it out of the park. I would have loved to have grabbed one. Unfortunately, timing and everything. I'm lucky though that family members picked one, so we're going to have one in the community, which is good.
Fantastic.
Which is fantastic. But we only got 24 of them in Australia, and I think 100 of them internationally only.
Yes. Yes. I heard the same thing.
Yeah. So 425 stayed in the US and sold out in 2 days, mate. So again, I think in relation to the expo in general, man, I'm disappointed that I wasn't. It was a bit of a tough week for me. I should have been there. Unfortunately, due to multiple reasons, I couldn't be. One of them because it's like 34-hour flight after all the connecting flights and everything. But, you know, seeing the community get together, seeing everyone celebrate barrels of fun. A lot of people loved Star Wars as well. I know that's a touchy subject for you, but, you know, it's Star Wars. People loved it. You know, it wasn't. Stern was pretty quiet this year. They didn't obviously have a game at Expo that like they did last year with Metallica, but everyone was. I think they had like 30 Harry Potters. Did you see how many Harry Potters were on the floor?
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, it's been out. I mean, it's what was it? We got it over here in June, didn't we? So I mean, so many people have played it now.
Yeah.
You know, so that it's not even. I mean, it's a great game, but it's not a new release in
No.
that sense. So they probably didn't need 30 there. You know.
No, but you know, it's just good to see. There's a lot of people that just haven't had a chance to play any of these games, and everyone, you know, everyone fell in love with Win. I don't think I heard one negative thing about Winchester. Same about Harry Potter. People love Harry Potter, and to be honest, the amount of people that just really liked Predator, which is disappointing because you know they had such a botched release. They're only making a certain number now. They're going to stop making them in December, apparently due to licensing expiry. I don't know if that's true or not, whatever, but we'll never know. It's a shame. The game's popular. It's a little bit expensive, like you said, when you compare it to Evil Dead and, you know, what the competition's doing. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we're absolutely blessed at the moment. I really do with choice. I quite like the idea of the limited numbers as well because I there was for so long you felt like everybody, like for instance, everybody bought a Godzilla. Everybody bought one, so everybody had a Godzilla. I think it's quite nice, you know. I think it eventually filtered down and helped the second-hand market, which again, it was interesting listening to Kerry's video and him saying the second-hand market is bad on. Over in the US, it's certainly the case over here. You probably can't see it in the video. I've got a Star Trek Next Generation just there. I've got to do a video on it, and I'm going to sell it. I'm going to take a hit on that. And normally they would sort of hold their value. The second-hand games, obviously, new in box, you'll lose money. I would expect that. But, you know, the second-hand ones, particularly that. So I'm going to take a little bit of a hit on there. But I do think with these new in box, when there's limited numbers going around, whatever, you know, 900. Labyrinth, whatever it is, 1100 Evil Dead, 500 Winchester. Eventually, I think that's quite good because not everyone's got the same game, and you wouldn't.
No.
If I put and wanted that up now for a used Godzilla Pro or Premium, I'd be inundated with people saying, "Oh, I'll sell you mine. I'll sell you mine." So it's not an issue. So I actually think that's quite good. I don't. Yeah. So I don't mind it. It was really nice. So I didn't have FOMO. I had JOMO, right? I had the joy of missing out because these games are so good now. Whenever anyone produces a theme that I don't really like, I think that's lucky. That's lucky, you know, because June was a problem because it's such a big theme for me, and the game was so good. I just have to. I've got to get it. I have no choice. And Lebowski had to go to get that. That's just what's had to happen. And I love Lebowski. You know, a Dream Theme Amazing Pinball Machine has gone to get a Dream Theme Amazing Pinball Machine. Like, you know, what really nice problem to have, isn't it? So I was worried. So I don't mind the JOMO actually because, well, okay. So I was able to look at it from afar, thinking, okay, haunted house, yeah. And again, I'd listened to Kerry's video, and he did at the start of his video, I think it was a featurette. He told the story of the Winchester house and about the lady that kept on building the rooms. And I didn't know anything about it, so I was grateful for that information. And, well, okay, I get it. I understand. I thought the lights looked amazing. I think the shots, the turntable looks great. The little ramp on the left, fantastic. The sound, I heard everything that Jeff had to say, and I am in. Well, what did I do yesterday? I sent you a video, didn't I? Yesterday. And said, can you send this to Jeff, please? It was a video. It was a Denis Villeneuve video about the making of Dune, but just from an audio perspective. So it was all the sound engineers. Because I'm just in love. I mean, cinematically and from all the audio, I'm just in love with Dune anyway. I think it might be it might be the best thing yet in terms of cinematic and audio. It's just I've watched both films 4 or 5 times. It's a bit unhealthy actually, but so anyway, so it was just a case of that. But yes, sorry, what I was just to say.
No,
I could admire the game. It's beautifully made. It looks beautiful. I love the sort of greens that are in it. It's sort of almost aqua green. It's almost sort of similar to this actually. I love those in it. I love the sound. But I thought, okay, phew, I don't have to get this. So I'm now, and I'm the same. And then everybody's teasing this spooky thing. And in many respects, a bit of Jomo from Evil Dead, because it was sold out. So, oh gosh, okay, that's good. So there's no temptation. So every time there's not any temptation, I'm pleased for it.
I think just to touch on what you said, one of the things I think helped Barrels of Fun, apart from obviously being a good company and having Carl D'Angelo and having Jeff, who's just doing phenomenal work with sound effects and sound and everything, but was that video Kerry did, because Kerry has a way of storytelling, and even though it's in that Texan accent, and it's like it's therapeutic, and he has a way of like getting the message across, and it's a bit like he's like the David Attenborough of pinball, right? Like I watched that, like he educated me on that house. Like I knew about the house.
I didn't have a clue about it, yeah.
But I didn't know the full extent of that house, right? So, there was that, and that gave you a bit of FOMO and a bit of JOMO, because you're like, Kerry's getting me a little bit excited here, right? And I actually said to him, he's got to do more of these type of videos, because he's actually really good at them. He's really good at them.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, look, I think between that and obviously everyone knowing, and it's a pretty big, we say big dick energy in Australia when someone's got a lot of confidence, and it's a lot of BDE from Barrels of Fun to drop this game like a week out. Like we're going to see Beetlejuice anytime now, right? That's whatever it's rumored to be. It's very risky to just drop this Winchester house, which is a spooky theme. It's a scary theme. Days, weeks just before Beetlejuice, right? And Beetlejuice will sell out. It was going to sell out day one, 100%.
Oh yeah,
right, because of the FOMO that Evil Dead has created. So, but yeah, look, fully agree with everything you said. I'm a bit surprised you're getting rid of Star Trek Next Generation, though.
It's got to go. I don't have any more. I've got no more space. I've honestly, and this hobby is evil hobby. Actually,
it's terrible.
And my friend John posted up a Batman Catwoman edition Batman 66 with candy purple armor. I don't need another pinball machine. I don't want to. It's almost like I'm trying to, try not to.
I'm not looking.
Sorry.
At the moment, I don't even look at Marketplace anymore because I can't get anything. So
it's bad for you. The first thing I thought is, what can I sell? That's a disease.
How many kids do you need?
Exactly.
Just sell one of them.
Well, they just need to. More of them need to work. That's to be fair, 2 of them are, but I can't put the 11-year-old out to work just yet. More's the shame. And I did, and I thought so. I have nothing. I'm now getting rid of games. I have nothing bad to say about them. I couldn't say a bad word about Star Trek Next Generation, the same way I couldn't tell you a bad word about Big Lebowski.
Do you think that's because, like, I've learned to tell myself, I used to have bad separation, like having to sell something to get something in. That's the only way I can get games in now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I've learned to say to myself, don't worry, you'll be able to get one again, because there's plenty of Star Treks out there. There's plenty of Big Lebowskis out there, and even Evil Deads, right? Even though they're sold, right? People will need to sell an Evil Dead to buy Beetlejuice. People will need to sell an Evil Dead to buy whatever the next spooky game after Beetlejuice is. So we will see more on the market eventually. I don't think they're going to be like, they'll hold their value. I think you'll get what you paid for it in 2 years' time, right? But I think they'll be out there. I think it's just about being patient. But, I've had to really learn that it's okay to let Star Trek Next Generation go, because you can get one again next week if you had to.
I've already had one before. So I will. It just needs to. I've got Taxi coming in next week. Yeah, I think it's coming in next week. Which I'm really looking forward to playing it. But you get these games that you don't like. Fathom, I didn't expect to get Fathom. That wasn't in the plan, and you can't get rid of a Fathom once you've got a Fathom.
It's fantastic.
So that can't go. So you've got these wonderful problems. You can't get rid of Attack from Mars, obviously, for obvious reasons. You can't get rid of Deadpool. Can't get rid of Jaws. You can't. And then you've got these.
See, I got rid of Deadpool.
Did you?
Yeah. I traded out of Deadpool to get 2 older games because I've had it for so long that I just wasn't playing it. And to be honest, like between having that, Venom, X-Men, and Avengers, I was like, they all feel the same.
Oh,
like,
ooh! Don't put thumbs down on the video.
Deadpool's got the better layout out of all of them, right? And maybe then X-Men. But I just was like, I've had it for so long, it's time for it to go. I can get another one.
You can.
Right?
You can definitely get another one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I know where you're coming from.
You sold the best one.
Don't worry. Avengers went. I traded in Avengers.
Are you talking Infinity? You're talking Infinity Quest.
Yeah, Avengers Infinity Quest. I traded for 2 older games.
They've both gone. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So Avengers. What else? Guardians of the Galaxy is gone. X-Men? No, Uncanny X-Men will never leave.
Oh,
it is the best looking game Stern's ever made, and I just love the layout too much. And I'm just hoping the code will get there, right? But I just have a really, really the comics were a big part of my childhood growing up as well. But it's such a beautiful game to look at. You don't even have to play the bloody thing, right? And mine's dialed in really well. Like it plays beautifully. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is gone. What do you call it? King Kong didn't last long. I traded out King Kong for a Tales of the Crypt and a NBA Fast Break. Would you believe?
What fun.
You know, because I just struggled with as much as King Kong, and we've had these conversations on the channel, but for those that didn't watch those other channels, and shame on you, but if you haven't, the game shoots beautifully when you hit the shots. I found when you're not a good player and you don't nudge a lot and you don't move the game a lot, it is a bit of a drain monster, no pun intended. But yeah, I just struggled to really engage with King Kong, unfortunately. And I think they're struggling with sales.
I think they're
struggling because if you saw the new accessories that came out for King Kong,
I did.
Right? There's a lot of recycled bits from the game. I feel there's like the plunger is the gong, and the animated Kong on top is like, you could have a King Kong Pro that doesn't have an animated Kong, but he is animated on your topper, right? So they must have a lot of parts. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, they're good accessories, but I just think, anyway.
Well, here's the thing. So I've been thinking quite a lot about this, and it was really, as I say, read nothing into the fact that I won't get a Winchester. I was very impressed. As I say, I was relieved. I was relieved that the theme didn't appeal to me. I'm there. I can't remember. I can't remember who's meant to have Matrix and who's meant to have Goonies, but I am shitting myself when that happens, thinking, "Oh no, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. What's going to go to make those come in?" So as I say, every time a game comes, and as I'm not bitter about Star Wars not coming over here now. I think it's done me a favor. It's fine. It's another one I can't have. Leave it. Good. Go away. Evil Dead. Fine. Go away.
I was going to send you a Star Wars because I worked out with the exchange rate and the shipping. It's still cheaper to get it from me than it is to get it in the UK.
Well, here's the point. But thank you. Don't. I don't owe you money, do I? The thing is, as nice as it looks, and it's not up to the level of the games that I've just mentioned. It is not
100%.
It's not up to the level of the thing is, I'd get Harry Potter first. It's not up to the level of Harry Potter. It's not up to the level of Evil Dead. It's not up to the level of Dune. It's not up to the level of Winchester. They have superseded it. They've gone too far. They've gone too far. They've just done what they've done. Okay, they are just making, as said on this channel for years and years now, the best pinball machines they possibly could. When you've got the balls roll, not just wire forms, you're using 3 magic wands which are lit for the balls to roll along, and you're and you've got a twisting staircase, changing ball paths, or changing a wheel in Winchester House, and you're doing all of this stuff, and you've got in the Evil Dead, you've got this ridiculous topper, a lower play field, lots of different flippers, all these
A
mechanisms.
worm that eats the ball.
A worm that eats the ball. This is we just get spoiled, and this is the new standard. And we've already said at the start of this video, we love our old games. We love a quick game of Dolly Parton or World Cup Soccer, of course. But we're talking about new games now. We're talking about new games, and the bar has gone from there to there on everything: mechanisms, sound, everything. The beauty of it. Look at the artwork on Evil Dead. What's Franchi going to do with Beetlejuice? It's going to look brilliant. And I think the problem is now where I look at Star Wars, I think, I just know that if anybody else had done Star Wars, I'm not even talking about shots now. Forget the layout. Just forget the layout. I'm talking about sound. I'm talking about sound and toys, and I'm talking about being immersive. Now, I might not like the haunted house theme of Winchester, but I'm damn sure that if I started playing it, I'd feel haunted. Right? That's the whole point of it. You feel I got goosebumps first time I played Harry Potter. This is different stuff. It's different level stuff, and you've got to remember in the UK here, there's no difference in the price point. All those games that I've said are the price of a Stern Premium. That's what we're talking about. So I started thinking about this, and I started thinking about Kong, which I think out of all the games that we've mentioned, Kong is probably the best shooter out of them. Obviously, I've not Winchester. I haven't played. Let's say that. But obviously, I think it is probably the best shooter. But
even over Harry Potter.
Look, I mean, high level. Harry Potter and Dune, I thought shot really, really well. But yeah, I think it's a genius layout. But a King Kong, I really do. I could hit them all day long, and I'm not a brilliant player either. And I got to enjoy. I got to play the Pro and the Premium. Had them both in here. Did the side-by-side comparison. Again, I don't have a bad word to say about it, but it's not immersive. It didn't. I didn't feel that I was in the world of King Kong, and for that reason, the shots aren't as good on Jaws. But as I say, it's not an anti-Stern thing. Jaws, they did it. Jaws drew me in. Now the sound is improved on Jaws because I've changed the speakers. All right, so you've got you've got that John Williams thing going on. You've got all the movie clips. You've got a shark's thing coming out of the play field that you've got to hit. It's there, but this is the problem, and this is what I think Stern may have to do. Is they were never going to give Keith Elwin Star Wars and more is the shame. Not that John Borg did a bad job of it, but here's the thing: nobody would buy if John Borg did. John Borg King Kong, no one's buying it. So what they do, and even I would even argue Godzilla was not a great theme. A brilliant pinball machine, yes, and did Keith do really well on it, yes. But Keith doesn't get the big IPs. Keith doesn't get John Wick. Keith doesn't get Bond.
Because he'll sell them. He'll sell the crappy IPs. Yeah.
Exactly. But here's my point. If what Stern want to do now is start matching these others and take Winchester out of it because it's not really an IP. I get it, and I listened to Carrie's explanation of the house and I get it. But I'm talking about IPs. I'm talking about like Goonies as an IP, and you know what I'm saying. Harry Potter as an IP.
Yeah.
If what they want to do is really start competing with this, because I know people now. And funny enough, this is off the back of a conversation that you and I had yesterday anyway, just about finances and about work and stuff like that. I know people that used to buy 3 pinball machines a year, new in box, that now buy probably 1 new in box pinball machine every 2 years. One of those people has just bought a Winchester, right? Another one of those people, I know the first pinball machine they bought in the last 2 years, new in box, was an Evil Dead. Stern are no longer everybody's first choice. And here's the point. So if what they want to do is get back up there, actually they're going to need that IP that might be Star Wars. They're going to need to give it to their best designer, and they're going to have to rinse every ounce of sound quality they can from their upgraded Spike 3s. They're going to have to be on absolute point with the art, with everything. They can't be leaving things out. They can't have missing sections of the licenses. I don't mean missing out on Europe. What I mean is they can't. You know what I mean. You can't have. You can't have no whatever. I don't know if the guns on John Wick was a licensing thing. I don't mind. It's not. I don't really care. But whatever it is, they can't have these big holes in the licenses. And if there's 5 big characters in an IP, be missing 3 of them, or this becomes an issue. The bar has been raised, and that's what I'm saying with this stuff now.
I think an issue and I'm not saying it's an excuse that Stern have used because they've never said it themselves, but they're very strict on the BOM, which is the builder materials. For those that don't know what that stands for, they're very strict on that, and I think they need to like change that because they're stuff got pulled out of certain games. When you hear interviews and things about the making of Kong or the making of this, they've had things pulled out of games because it went over budget. Now my question there is how come Evil Dead can do it? How come Dune can do it? How come Winchester can do it, right? So there's obviously something not lining up here. And now when you're a big company, it's all about profit. So maybe they're very strict and it doesn't matter if they go over by $500 like it does with, Spooky because their overheads are really low and they don't have a massive warehouse that they've got to pay for. I get it. Like, I understand, right? But the fact of the matter is that unfortunately you are playing in the same playground as everyone else. And just because you've got all those expenses and very strict and you've got to show high profits and you've got a board of directors and all that stuff, unfortunately, you're playing in the same space as games that are the same price, right?
Yes.
That are far more jam-packed, far more captivating. I was going to ask you a question, Ryan. You said that you weren't captivated by King Kong, like it did nothing for you theme-wise. It didn't pull you in, right?
Well, when I was playing it, I didn't feel pulled into a world. I loved the shots, but I didn't feel pulled into a world. Whereas all those other games,
Jaws, I know we feel that we get pulled in. Did you feel pulled in with X-Men, Uncanny X-Men?
Not at all.
Right. So
love the shots.
Do you think? Right. Do you think it's because of the theme or because, because the theme doesn't do anything for you?
Just for me. Just for me. That's all I'm saying here. Just for me.
Here's the thing, right? Evil Dead. Not a theme for me, right? Like, I'm not really into horror. I'm not really into. I couldn't even tell you the last time I'd watched an Evil Dead film, but it didn't stop me from like getting one, right?
Because the story is simple, Enzo. The story is simple, right? You can explain what happens in Evil Dead in 20 seconds. Okay, I can't explain to you the details of the Uncanny X-Men with the Sentinels in 20 seconds. Not with any detail that's going to help you understand the game. You understand that, so you don't have. I don't feel you have to know to understand. I've always said this. A theme of a game should teach you the rules. Okay, attack from Mars. Flying saucers are over basically lots of cities on Earth. You have to destroy the flying saucers over each city one at a time. Okay, you now understand the rules. Is there more to it? Yeah, there is. But that's the story. The story of the pinball machine must tell you the rules. You might not have watched Evil Dead. You might not be into horror, but you can get it. Okay, yeah, I get it. I understand it. This is the dude. This is the horrific stuff. It's so in your face, and I think this is.
But it's so easy to understand. It's so easy to understand the game and the modes, right?
Yeah.
I don't have that with, like, I love Jaws. I love the theme integration. I love the simplicity of it. It's easy to understand, but it's not like someone that walks up to a Jaws has no idea what they're doing. It's not easy to understand how to start a mode, how to close beaches, how to save. Like, it's not easy, right? Like, it's my daughter who's 10 years old will walk up to certain games and know straight away what to do, right? Evil Dead, super easy. Like, you know exactly what to do. It tells you what to do. It's really straightforward. Sure. Theme integration with modes is spectacular. And I think there was that element where I was trying to get at. The reason I wanted to get an Evil Dead was because there was so much excitement by what was in it and how well it was put together, right? I can't tell you the last time a Stern game had that impact where everyone in the community was saying, oh man, the game's loaded, the artwork is fantastic, the call outs and music are fantastic, it's the total package. I couldn't tell you the last Stern game that I heard that. Jaws, the art was a miss, most people reckon, right? The Uncanny X-Men had teething problems and the code. X-Men, John Wick, the code, the shots were too hard, and it was empty, like mech-wise. Dungeons and Dragons, absolutely one of the most captivating code and call-out storytelling pinballs Stern has ever made, but it is an extremely hard shooter.
It's got to be Godzilla. It's got to be the Godzilla Premium. I think
100%.
I think that is it, and probably
And that is a theme that nobody wanted.
Yes, yeah, of course. No, you listen.
Right.
You're absolutely right. But there was enough in it. Well,
Correct.
first there wasn't the competition that it's got now. So let's say that now.
But it was pretty jam packed.
The collapsing building was magnificent. Okay?
Yep.
And I know that
the bridge that breaks
was brilliant.
Collapsing building, the wire forms, the Mecha Godzilla, the scoop, the pop bumper,
the magnet catching the ball in the way that it did. People really liked that. No, I mean it was a game, and people were excited. People were excited about it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
that. You know, Chris, it hurts me. Like I love what Stern do. I've been accused of being a Stern shill. People think I have a Stern tattoo on my butt cheek. I can show no.
But it's got the ST on one butt cheek. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and then
you've got to squeeze the whole arse together to be able to spell the words.
That's it. But I think maybe that's why I'm really upset, because it's like it's like when you disappoint your dad, right? And he's really disappointed because he's your dad, right? Or your son, and you take it personally because it's family, right? And it's like, I just feel that there's been miss after miss after miss. And this thing about this big oiled machine that they've got to keep the wheels moving to keep everything going. And, it's a lot of pressure. And I feel for everybody that works there, because I don't think it's their fault, right? And I think they need to rein it in a bit, right? They've just got to...
They need to scale it down. That's what I was going to say.
What I'm excited to hear, right, is that they had a panel at Expo where George and Jack were sitting down, and George Gomez announced that he is collaborating on Jack Danger's last game. So he's taking over the design process because Jack has stepped down as a designer, which is a huge hit for Stern. Huge hit for Stern, right? But Gomez is now...
Sorry, I interrupt. Do you know why? Can you say why on here? Can we say why?
No, look...
Or is it secret stuff?
Nobody really knows the full story, but I think it's very
really
obvious.
Talented in his shot layout. So talented.
I think it's really obvious, and Jack is a friend. Like I get along with Jack really well, and I hope I'm not overstepping here. And he hasn't said anything to me. He hasn't said anything to anyone, right? But I've been watching Jack Danger dead flip for a long time, right? He has one of the most charming personalities, the most bubbly personalities, the most he's probably the most approachable person. He's the person that put pinball on the map for streaming. You can't take someone like that and chuck him in an office that he can't talk to anyone about what he's building, right? He basically went from being in everyone's house on TV, streaming on Twitch, talking to every content creator, being friends with every company, to all of a sudden being stuck in an office, right? At some point, something's got to give, and I think the pressure, the stress of what it takes to build a game, the negativity that comes with it, because the community sometimes can be very pressure. The issues X-Men had, unfortunately, would have taken a toll mentally. You can't, you can't overshadow that. Like, you can't pretend it didn't, right? So I think it was all those things, and Jack wants to be Jack, right? And we're starting to see Jack be Jack again, right? There's little elements there. We're now in this new position. They don't want him to go to the competition, right? If he was to quit as a designer, he could go over at Spooky and build one game every 2 years and be able to still do it. Yeah. Spooky would let him do whatever the hell he wants, right? He could go to JJP. They don't want him to go. So they've given him this new role, content, community leader, right? And he's perfect for it. But the fact of the matter is, he was in the middle of designing a game rumored to be Pokemon, right? And he's had to stop because he's stepping down from the design. George Gomez is taking over, right? This could be the turning point. This could be the Godzilla 2.0, because we know what George can do. They know they're in trouble, right? And if they don't think they're in trouble, then they're... And I'm sorry, this is going to sound really bad, but if Stern doesn't think they're in trouble, they're possibly blinded by a bit of ignorance and arrogance. As bad as that sounds.
I mean, listen, we don't know because we're not privy to
We're not.
the sales. We don't know about the
Yeah.
sales. So all I
But
can
Chris,
offer, all I can offer you is anecdotal evidence, and that is a
I
lot of
mean that.
people I know now
Yep.
are buying games other than Stern,
Mhm.
and these are the same people who I know. It's not like they're new friends. These are people I've known,
Yep.
you know, for the last 10 years. They were buying Sterns, and now
Yep.
they're more excited by this other stuff. And as I keep saying it, and I may be just saying this about the UK, but actually, I often thought it was just a UK thing because because there's a middleman, because we have the import tax, a Stern Premium is the same price as a Big Lebowski
Yeah.
or a Harry Potter or a Dune. They're pretty much the same price, a couple of £100 in it, not much.
Mm.
But I always thought that was maybe just to do with the UK to hear Carrie talk about Stern need to do something. So because I always just thought, well, in the States, I just thought it was just what it is. Stern is almost like a budget pinball machine. Stern is like a Ford car, if you want, and everything else is a Mercedes. You know, I don't know if that's a great example, but and that's what it is. But over here, they're not. That they are Mercedes price over here, Stern.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was but to then to hear Kerry say it and to hear that there are some frustrations out there, and just to hear the excitement. What a great question you asked. When was the last time big excitement about a game? I'm a big fan of Jaws. I'll always defend Jaws because, but thinking about it, Jaws actually had to be, and I'll even defend what you said. I think because of the fishing reel and because of the fin coming up, I think people can go up and play it. They might not necessarily know what they're doing, but people, I want to honestly, people come play it. You know, I want to hit that fin again.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
but I think it was a sleeper. I think because the shark didn't eat the ball. It's now when you start looking at the Pinside Top 100, it's been ever since then. Whatever it was, 25, and now it's up there, and now it's up in the top 10. So I think it's a sleeper, and I think it matures, and people appreciate it over time. But what you said was right when it got
perfect
released.
example though. You mentioned the fin, right?
Yeah.
My daughter loves when that fin comes up. She's got no idea how to get it up.
For sure. Yeah. Okay.
I don't like. It took me ages to go. How do I get that fin back up again? Right? Like I want to show people this fin, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, and I fully get it. I think my comment was more about the content creators or friends in the community, right, that have had a chance to play an Evil Dead or a Dune or a Jaws, and there was so much about those particular games that everyone was saying, "Oh my god, it's the total package." I couldn't tell you the last time a Stern game did. You hit the nail on the head. My thing was the same as yours, was Godzilla. And I want to touch back. I'm going to look at the camera when I say this, right? Because we have a lot of Stern friends that watch this channel, right? From MXV to, I'm pretty sure most of them do, right? And I meant what I said before with all the love and respect in the world. But I think if you guys don't really think that there is a problem at the moment, like we maybe need to have a conversation. Because I generally think, like Chris said, everyone else is at a different level, and unfortunately, you're swimming at the same price point, right? So,
but they can do it.
They build a fantastic fucking product, mate. Like
and the most reliable. I would suggest the most reliable on site.
Most reliable
in your house.
If you look at the Evil Dead layout, which is just a simple fan layout, but I know everyone's going to say everything's a fan layout. Yeah, but it's a very traditional 7 shots. You put that in front of Jaws, it's identical, right? You argue that Jaws is very similar. Jaws has an upper playfield, whereas the other one had a lower playfield, right? Jaws has a bigger upper playfield, right? Theme integration on Jaws is probably as good, if not better than the Evil Dead one, right? But there's something that's not on the same, and I think the Evil Dead artwork is fantastic. The Jaws one, not so much, right? The goriness and the yelling and the screaming and the swearing, you don't get that in Jaws. So there's a few things, right? But the littlest things will still make the biggest impact. But anyway, we went off a tangent, right?
No, I like the tangent, but this is what
I wanted to touch on some of the things that were announced at Expo. Have we got time to do that?
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
So one of the things that was announced was Hexa. Hexa, for those that don't know, is basically a French company. French? I think they're French. Yeah, French. They announced they're going to do the Three Musketeers based on the book. Would you believe? So can I pull that up? Maybe. Let's see. Where is it? That one. There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they've announced Hexa. They're going to have a working model of this at TPF. So that was interesting. They done Space Hunt and Hunt, not the other word.
That's yeah. You don't want
I've
too
said
much
that a
space
few
in one of
times by
those.
mistake.
Yeah.
Space Hunt. And then we got something which was really interesting, which I thought was like, we heard a rumor about it, and they did announce it. Our friends at Dutch, who obviously make a very good, what do you call it? Big Lebowski, as they say.
Yeah, of course.
Have announced Raza, right? They're doing 333 of Papa Duke's Deep Root money grab, as some people called it, without getting into the negativity of it all. They're going to be releasing this after they finish with Alice in Wonderland.
But this is more of the same. This is more of what we heard from Barrels of Fun. So this is now obviously Barrels have come in and just started producing loads and loads of games. But obviously Dutch Pinball as well took an additional unit, an extra unit on the on factory unit basically. So they're going to run these other smaller games where they're going to basically almost like a small production line alongside their main one, which we know will stop being Lebowski and will start being Back to the Future, and then they're going to produce these side games. It just seems like it's what Barrels of Fun are doing. It seems like a sensible model.
And I think at 333, there's no doubt this is going to sell out.
Of course, yeah.
Because of how different it looks. Winchester, we know, came out. Stern released the toppers and everything. That's pretty much it. I mean, look, for me, the biggest take on all of Expo and everything was the homebrew. Big Trouble in Little China. It's one of my favorite films growing up. I made my wife watch it the other day, and she was like, "What the hell am I watching?" But like, and okay, people are like, "Oh, it's such a niche genre," and who's asking for a Big Trouble Little China, right? Everyone said that about Labyrinth, though. Everyone's like, nobody's asked for a Labyrinth pinball, right? But even if you made 600-700, you're telling me 600-700 people don't want a Big Trouble Little China?
Can I just say it drives me mad, that phrase. It drives me mad. It's like going into a restaurant. Okay,
True.
It's like reading through the menu and seeing that there's a pasta carbonara in there, and calling the waitress over. Excuse me, who asked for pasta carbonara? Well, I don't care, mate. Have the sausages, have a pie, have some chicken.
It's on the menu.
Do you know what I mean? You don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for not giving a whole menu, which is exactly how you like it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't ask for Star Wars. What?
Hold on. What about the other way? What about the other way? Because Jerry Seinfeld used to always say, like, I don't want to know the restaurant specials, because if they were special, they should be on the menu.
Hold on. What are you saying? What's he saying? I don't get it. What's he saying?
Well, he's like, you go into a restaurant, they go, you want to hear the specials of the day, right? Mm-hmm. And Jerry Seinfeld's like, no, if they were special, they would be on the menu if they're that good.
I love Jerry Seinfeld. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, by the way, as well. But he's wrong. He's wrong on that one, particularly down your coast. You don't know what you don't know what fish they're going to catch, and
Yeah.
Special. So I like the specials. I like asking for the specials. Yeah. This
is look, I think
special, wasn't it?
No, well, yeah. You hit the nail on the head. I think the thing with Stern is it's a very different playing field, and you can see just by, and Stern would have seen it at Expo, because the show wasn't about them. Barrels of Fun stole the show, and so did the Homebrews, right? So Stern knows, and they know that everyone's lived up the game now. And I mean, how much of big dick energy, as they say it, was Spooky not even appearing at Expo? They didn't even go.
They didn't even pick up the mic. Didn't need to drop it. They didn't pick it up.
They didn't pick it up.
They don't need to.
Bug just looked at the mic and said, I'm not touching that. I'll touch it in a couple of weeks, though. That just shows the confidence of a company that knows
so much money. So that Expo. So for instance, we got the Expo over here, which is, it's not just pinball. It's arcade games, and it's a lot of the stuff that you'll get.
That was Pinfest, yeah.
No, that's not Pinfest. No, Pinfest is just a chance for everyone to enjoy themselves and have a great time. I can't. Anyway, it's at the London XL Arena. I can't remember. But it's like the claw machines. It's the claw machines. It's the
redemption machines,
the gambling machines. It's the motorbikes. It's and pinball machines. So it's everything, right? That cost to put a stand there, thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yep.
For Pinball Heaven, it was actually just better to have the open day. It was actually cheaper to have the open day, to get everybody there, to pack the open day full of whatever it was, 30, 40 pinball machines, pretty much all of them new. Get a pizza van down and give everyone free pizza. That was cheaper. It was cheaper than sending all. So actually, Spooky are probably saving themselves a fortune not taking however many games they would normally take there. That would have cost Jersey Jack a fortune to send all their games there. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to do. I think they've been smart by not going. I think Barrels of Fun have been smart by doing what they've doing, and it allows. I mean, because people are playing Alice there, aren't they? But I think Alice is all sold out anyway as well, isn't it? So there's another example.
No, Alice is. I think a lot of people some people had the opportunity to pull their deposits. I think there's still Alice's available. There was only two Alice's at the expo. There wasn't massive lines for it. You know, I think Alice has turned out to be a little bit underwhelming. A lot of people are saying that it's a little bit repetitive and easy with the shots. Yes, it's a good looking game. I haven't played one. I'll play one in a couple of weeks at the Australian Melbourne Expo in November. But, I think there's just, like you said, it's just easier. One of the things about the expos that get me, right, is especially when you're not a good player, you queue up for an hour to play Winchester, right? And then you lose 3 balls in 5 minutes because you're not a good player.
Yeah.
And then, actually, the Mad Max homebrew guy, right, said at the Texas Pinball Festival, their game was so hard that he felt so bad because people had queued up 45 minutes, and he reckons the average person that showed on there, whatever, that lasted like under a minute. So they had to make the game easier, right? Because a homebrew is designed to experience at shows, right? You can't buy them.
No.
It's different when the game's at home because you can just push start over and over again, right? So it was interesting seeing that. But, man, there was some fantastic homebrews like Invaders from France. There was a guy that bought a game all the way from France. Big Trouble.
That's a sore subject in this country at the moment.
Yeah, mate. Don't even go there.
They weren't coming over in dinghies, were they?
Here as well. Well, yeah.
Bad joke.
They were rolling over. They rode over. Yeah. I'm surprised that he was even allowed into America, to be honest. But there was a fantastic game made by Jake. I can never pronounce his last name, which it was a combat pinball where you played against someone. It was a hockey table version. And it was a flat game, and it had stand-up targets and everything. It was pinball hockey. I cannot remember the name. Flippers. Yeah. So basically 2-player, but not air hockey as in like the traditional pucker, you got to hit it. Yeah. Obviously, they've got 2 flippers. You've got 2 flippers. It will come to me right now. Give me a second because I've got to do it justice because he won game of the show, even over Big Trouble Little China.
Oh, wow. This sounds great. I mean, you could make a football game on that. That would be great.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. I got to pull it up because if you haven't seen it, and you could, and I actually was going to say to him, this would be fantastic to do a fool's ball table, right? I don't know if that's what you used to call it over there. Where is it? I can't remember what it's called now. Pinball. Monster League Hockey.
Monster League Hockey. I mean, any game like that is going to work as long as there's 2 goals, right? Could be
Monster League Hockey and basically
soccer, hockey, whatever. And any game's going to work.
I had a picture on my phone. I don't think you can see. There it is.
I can see two people. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It's flat.
They're illuminated. Yeah.
They're illuminated. Yeah, he had some fantastic lighting, and that was just, you're trying to get the ball into their goal. They're trying to get into you. They both had a screen. It was that's a game that I think if you put on an arcade, it's going to do extremely well. Really captivating. So it was so cool to see some There was a Sonic Hedgehog game. There was a Pokemon homebrew, Mass Effect. But so many homebrews. It was so cool. So cool.
And it's at the moment it's great. I mean, despite I'm sure if you're a manufacturer and it's well, particularly on a big scale, it's probably tough. But actually, from a hobbyist point of view, and I know it's it's harder and money's tighter, no doubt about it at all. It's a good time to be in the hobby. Actually, it really is. Not a great time to be selling a game, granted, but probably a good time to be buying one, particularly a second-hand one. And all these great games coming out, and I think they will get shared around. So even if you're not one of the people that can get hold of one of these 500 games, then someone else will bring out a range of games with 500, and they'll start. You'll eventually get hold of one, and even if you haven't got to have every game, have you? Let's be fair. So,
no.
There's such good games. Just having one that you like is really good. And I just wanted to say that on Stern as well. Particularly with that Batman 66 coming up today, it was quite funny that coming up. What we're talking about, what a great game that was. Had all the assets, all of them. The artwork, I think it's Frenchie on the artwork, Gomez shots. Stern can do this stuff. And that was, well, I think it might be, was that 20? I don't know. I don't want to say the date now in case I got it wrong.
That was 10 years old. That was 2000. No. I was talking to Chris in the Discords. Chris L watches this channel. He's going to crucify me for this because I have a thing. He loves Batman 66, right?
Yes, it's brilliant.
And I love the game. I love the art, all of it. The thing I struggled with it is I just didn't watch that show, and I find it way too campy for my Batman. Right? Yeah. I actually prefer George Gomez's Dark Knight, which was basically the same layout as Batman 66, but it actually had more stuff in it. And Batman 66 Pinball was 2016, 10 years ago.
There you go. Yeah. So they have the technology now as well, so they can do this stuff. They have the team. They don't have to go and hire these guys. They have the team there. They have the teams. They have the designers. They have the back catalogue of titles. They know how to get licenses. Stern can easily in-house up their game. They really can. But yeah, I just think if listen, I'm not saying you don't make stripped out pinball machines. You can, but on budget. But I think if you're going to start competing for these games where people are going to buy maybe one pinball machine a year or one pinball machine every 2 years, you're gonna have to come. It's like somebody I know used to say, look, if you've got £9,000 to spend on a pinball machine, you've probably got £10,000 to spend on a pinball machine.
100%.
The fact that it might be a little bit cheap is probably not going to do it. So at that point, you've got to make it everything, all the bells, all the whistles, all the trimmings. Just quickly before we go, so have I got this right? Are they talking about Walking Dead might be the next Stern one?
So the rumor was Walking Dead was meant to be at Expo, and people are saying that because King Kong and Star Wars didn't do so well, that if they had released The Walking Dead, it would have taken the spotlight off those two games, right? So they've held it back for now, and they're probably going to show it a little bit later. Because if you recall...
Is it a new Walking Dead or the same
It's the same one. It's going to be a remaster. Because remaster is a thing now, right? Like, if you've got a catalogue of games that were bangers 10 years ago, 20 years ago, why not use them again?
Yeah.
And make them modernized, right? Like, I'd love to see a Tron remaster, right? I'd love to see an AC/DC remaster. Like, great. You've already got all that stuff. You've already got all the plans. You've got all the Whitewood stuff, right? They can put all the stuff. Now, Walking Dead, to be honest, is a fantastic shooting game. It's brutal. It's hard sometimes to understand for some people, but I'm not excited by them including a 20-inch screen and like putting the TV show assets. I don't really care. Like, I would have preferred Tron, right? But I think it's because of the popularity of the game and the fact that Stern know that a current second-hand Walking Dead premium still fetches the price of a new Stern, and that's why they've remastered.
That's a really good point.
So you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Metallica Premium before the remaster come out was the same price as a brand new in-box Stern on the second-hand market.
A new in-box Pro.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gold Pro, yeah.
Yeah. No. A second-hand premium would be the same price as a new in-box Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in Australia, there was a Metallica Crate Edition, right? Which was the old game with the red DMD, right? But it was fetching $15,000,
right?
Because of how rare it was, right? And as soon as the new Metallica Remastered came out, what happened? That was $15,000, and the others went to $10,000.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's a smart business move. It's a smart business move. My hat goes off to Stern on that. You know, you remaster AC/DC, Kiss, Tron, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings will print money, right?
It will, but they can't. But the trouble is, and with that being, you know, sort of my favorite, if I had to pick one title for re-release, it would be that, because I do think that would benefit from having the movie clips in it.
100%.
And I love the layout and I love the rules.
Yeah.
It would,
and I'm sure we'll see it.
It would be that sound. It would be, because I would still be thinking, I want that sound to be as good as a sound that Jeff's improved on Dune, for instance.
Yeah.
That would be it. You know, because there's no point having Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen saying this stuff. It's coming out of a paper speaker, which I know they don't have anymore. But even now, you know. So yes, you're right. You're right. So that it's not like this. Yes, I don't want to be hating on Stern. As I say, I still wouldn't. They won't go. Jaws and Deadpool will not go. And look, even today, I was looking at ways to get a Batman 66 bag. It's not that. Just to summarize it again, it's just the levels of these brand new in box ones just going crazy. And whatever is going to come out now, so whatever Spooky is, if it's Beetlejuice, you know it's going to be brilliant. You know Jersey Jack's next game is going to be absolutely packed as well. Barrels of Fun. They've done the Winchester. They'll be doing something else. I don't know what their next license is after. I'm not sure who's got the Matrix. Not sure who's got Goonies. I don't know, but they're just going to be packed, whoever does these games. And we haven't even heard much from CGC. CGC are pumping out remakes of Medieval Madness now, which are brilliant. You know, and the last, you know, their last original game was Pulp Fiction, which was brilliant. So what are they? At some point, they are going to make another game, CGC, and that's going to take a large share of the market as well. So, yeah, this is. And
you know, like I said to you, you know, when you've got people like Kerry Hardy who have seen the next Spooky game, have played it, and they're saying it's that good that he sold a game to get that game, that just creates the FOMO right there.
He wasn't talking about that as an NDA. Then he was talking about something else. He mentioned in one of his videos where he said he'd sold King Kong about an NDA, and he said I haven't. Yeah, it wasn't that. It was another game. I can't remember. I watched sort of three videos in a row, so they might have sort of blended into one sort of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, yes, he sounds very, very, very excited about it, doesn't he? And that's the thing. And I always say this. I always say this when I've got games stacked up in there and I'm reviewing games. You'll always know what game I really like because I'll bend over backwards to get it.
Yeah, or just bend over.
Well, I'd have to do that a lot of times, I think, certainly to get one of these modern games. Anyway, on that note, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to press end recording now. Enzo, lovely to chat to you, mate.
Thank you very much. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. We'll be doing more coming up. I've got three big videos coming up, actually, just of pinball machines rather than that. And I think Enzo's having a chat with Don from Don's Pinball Podcast and Carrie, I understand, next week after they finish Expo.
I'm hoping they're both. I've got a couple of videos. So I've sent you one about the pin lights. I did a really cool video about pin lights. I did a really cool tour. I drove for like 10 hours in total to go see a Williams collection in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Australia's already in the middle of nowhere. This is even more in the middle of nowhere. So we've got heaps of content. I've
been looking at a lot of Australia recently. My
girlfriend, come over.
My girlfriend, well, my girlfriend's she's not Australian, but she's Australian citizen, right? She lived and worked over there, but she's been watching. What's the program called? Married at First Sight Australia. She's been watching that, right? Honestly, she's been watching that. I think she punished me because I made her watch the Grand Prix qualifying. So I've seen a lot of over the last few days. I've seen a lot of Australia because they take them to these really nice locations and
it's a shit show.
it's a funny concept, to be fair. Who'd have thought it? They don't meet each other. They never met each other before. Then they get married in front of the TV cameras, having never seen each other before. And would you believe it? Some of them don't like each other. There's a shock.
There you go. So it's a normal day in paradise.
Absolutely. But let's be fair. There are a lot of us who have all bought pinball machines before without seeing them, haven't we? And that is where the FOMO is. And that's why I'm particularly liking the JOMO. The joy of missing out means you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Nice one, Enzo.